Hello, my name is Mooncat and welcome back to another beta recap where I will go through what's been going on the beta server the last week. Now before I get into the beta stuff, I do want to quickly mention an update that I have made to my event set builder. Now in addition to the old method of generating links and sharing those, you can also save designs locally in your browser. This allows you to save and load designs directly from your browser. So whenever you go to the website, you will have all of your saved designs. You can load them and you can now continue working on them. But I will talk more about this at the end of the video, so if you're interested in that, you will find the timestamp in the description. Alright, let's talk about beta, and let's start by quickly going through the daily changelog. There's honestly not that much happening, but I did notice a trend of quite a few bugs where values didn't display correctly. For example, getting a production with a pop-up doubled. So for example, some of the newer buildings give fragments. So if you got one of those buildings doubled, the pop-up did not display the correct amount. That has been fixed. In the antique dealer, there were some display issues with the castle system boost. It didn't show the right values of the boosted amounts and so on. There were some issues with the forge point bar displaying incorrectly, and also an issue with the aid all where the rewards were displayed twice and so on. So yeah, quite a few display issues, nothing too major behind the scenes. You got the right amount and all of that, but yeah, nice to have a few of those fixed, I suppose. The main thing I think from this changelog is this. The boathouse from the summer event provided too much population and happiness that has been adjusted to be in line with other event buildings. And that makes perfect sense to me. So what I've done on my table here, I have filtered it by all of the event buildings from this year. So here you can see the population these give. I've sorted here by population per tile, and we can now see that the boathouse gives around 500 population per tile in space, age, Jupiter, moon. This is around average, perhaps slightly below average. You can see some of these other ones are around 600 up to 700, but not around where the other buildings are. Previously though, instead of giving 9,000 population, it gave close to 24,000. And for the size, it's only 4x4, giving 24,000 population in space, age, Jupiter, moon was way too much. So that has been adjusted. It's now definitely more in line with the other event buildings, perhaps slightly on the lower side, but still, yeah, not a big deal. Definitely warranted change when it comes to that. Now, speaking of the summer event, there's also another change or two more changes. First of all, we have moved the log cabin on the wheel from golden to silver reward. So previously the log cabin was a gold reward in the summer event. That was noted in the feedback, and yeah, it has now been moved. So now the log cabin will appear as a silver reward instead of being a gold reward, and that definitely makes sense in my opinion. Then also we have made some adjustments to the later event pass rewards and one grand prize reward. I don't quite know specifically what this means. The event is not active anymore, so I can't really check, and I haven't seen any specific information, but I don't really think this is a big deal anyways. It shouldn't really matter. So the main one is that the log cabin on the wheel has been moved from golden to silver rewards. Alright, that's it for the summer event. Let me quickly talk about the Guild Battlegrounds changes as well. Last Thursday, the community manager made this post. So, dear kings and queens, since the start of this test, many questions, especially on how the test is handled, arose, and we want to communicate those concerns here. Firstly, we want to point out that we plan for this change to be tested over several seasons on beta first before we evaluate it and make possible adjustments or bring it to our live markets. We appreciate your feedback and activity on this topic. We would like to emphasize that both game data and feedback we receive from forums and tickets are important for decision making. Unfortunately, not the whole player population of a market is represented on forum and in tickets, so supporting feedback with game data is crucial for determining our next development steps. For now, we continue gathering data and your feedback, and once data is sufficient, we will evaluate it and plan further steps. Until then, please keep on providing feedback as it is crucial for the further development of Guild Battlegrounds and the whole game. Thank you, your Forge of Empires team. So, basically, what we can kind of read from this is that the changes are not coming to life anytime soon. I think I said that last week as well. But yeah, this makes it sound like they will keep on gathering data in the background. I imagine it'll probably be a few more seasons. I can imagine a few changes perhaps to beta and then a new set of tests. So I don't think this is coming to live this month or next month. So we will see, but I do think it will be quite some time before we know more about when this might come to the live servers. And also what he says here about using both feedback from the forums and also game data, that makes perfect sense. The players that are on the forums are usually only represent one portion of player base, the more dedicated player base usually. So yeah, in terms of more casual players and stuff like that, it makes sense to also rely on data, and I imagine they have quite a lot of data. So yeah, we will see where this goes in the future. We do have another round of voting going on, so if you want to vote again, you can. This has been updated again. It will do so for each season. So last season, as I talked about in my previous video, the results were around one third likes it and 2/3 dislikes it. If we look at the new votes right now, it's roughly the same. 1/3 likes it, 2/3 dislikes it. So it seems like at least here on the forums, the feedback has stayed pretty much the same since the beginning. Around 1/3 likes it and 2/3 dislikes it. So I think that's it for the Guild Battlegrounds. When we know more about it, I definitely will talk about it. But for now, I do think it will be quite some time before we know more, and especially until it gets released on beta, on the live servers. If it ever is released, it might not be. So let's move on to some spoilers. We don't really have too much, but there are some new things. For the fall event, there are some new sound effects that weren't a thing last year. So if we quickly go through them, I will shut up, I will mute my microphone, and let's quickly go through them. There we go, that's the new sound effects. Don't really know what, but I think this might mean either some small tweaks to the mechanics or perhaps even some new mechanics. I think you would probably agree that those sound like water. What I had in mind was kind of a cauldron of something. So instead of baking cakes, perhaps you're brewing something or making a stew or something like that. So perhaps they've simply swapped out, instead of making cakes, you make other recipes. Or perhaps this is some new mechanics. We will have to see. I do think the event will be out this week on beta, so shouldn't be too long until we know more. But it will be interesting to see if this does mean any new mechanics, or if it's simply a reskin perhaps of how things are. We will see. We will see. Now, other than that, there are also some more new stuff when it comes to the tutorial stuff I mentioned last week. This here, I did theorize a little bit that this might mean a new settlement. We're talking about Egypt and cowboys and stuff like that. Looking at it again, I don't really think so, especially with these other pieces here. So in addition to, if we go back here, so in addition to the old ones here, so we have this Egypt cowboy shot, right hand cowboy shot, right hand pop over. I'm not quite sure what these mean, but we also see some other versions of it. So here we have tutorial general pop over and general cowboy shot. Not sure what this means, but these do look kind of like the tutorial images we have already. For example, I'm not sure when. I have started a few worlds recently, gone through the tutorial, and the guy that teaches you to fight kind of looks like this guy. So it might just be a reskin or a slight update to the tutorial, for example. So I don't think this has anything to do with a new settlement. So yeah, there are also some new things. Tutorial image tech tree, probably some tutorials or more information about leveling up or unlocking technologies, perhaps. I don't know. And some other new items as well. So I suppose we will have to see if this is anything special, but it probably is just a slight update to the tutorial, I imagine. Alright, I think that's it for the spoilers. As I said, not really a lot has been going on. Hopefully there will be some more interesting stuff this week. The community manager, Juber, has mentioned that there might be some spicy things this week, some big things. So hopefully that will be out this week. We will see what that is. Hasn't really given any clues on what it is. But yeah, we will see what that is. All right, now let me quickly talk a bit more about the new save feature in my event set builder before I end this video. So, as I said before, the only way to save your designs was to generate links and then store them in a document somewhere, for example, or something like that. But now what you can do is that you can save designs locally in your browser. This uses something called web storage, which you can read more about here if you want, also called local storage. And basically what that does is that it saves the designs directly in your browser. So the designs are tied to your browser. It will only work on that particular browser you saved them on. So if you have two browsers on the same computer, you can only look at the saves you saved on the browser you used. If you have two computers, for example, you can't see them there. But what you can do is that you can download all the designs you have made. That will give you a text file, simple text file, where you have all of your designs. And the way this works, basically it has the name and then the save string that you used previously or generate there. So it's the same thing. Now, with that link or with that file, what you can do, you can also delete these designs. So if I delete all of these, this cannot be reversed, by the way. So if you delete it, it is gone for good, unless you saved one of those files. Because with that file, you can upload it, you can choose the file, open it, and now those designs have been uploaded again to the tool. You can use this to transfer between computers, for example, or share with your friends, for example. But yeah. Another thing I want to mention, with the way this is saved, by storing it in your browser, first of all, I can't see it, so if you delete it, I can't help you. It is not reversible, but it also means that if you clear your browser data and cookies, these might be deleted. This post here goes over when things are deleted, under which scenarios for different browsers. So if you are interested in that, you can look at that. But also because of that, I do recommend that you download the file every now and then if you don't want to lose them. But if you don't clear the data, if you don't uninstall the browser, all of these should be saved. And then the next time you log in or next time you open the window, you can load all of your designs back up again. And also you can close your browser completely, restart computer. All of these will still be here as long as you don't clear the data or uninstall the browser. So that's more or less it. Don't really have too much more to say about it. But yeah, I think not quite sure why I haven't added this already. I did actually look at this back when I first made the tool, but for some reason I didn't continue on doing it. But yeah, now it is a feature. You can use it if you want. Hopefully you find it interesting, and yeah. Alright, I think that's it for this video. So before I end, let me thank my Patreons for their support. I would like to thank Comstar, Fort Prefect, Lorden, Rock'n Robin, Kim Cayley, Joshua Clark, Rolf the 8th, PQ the Goat, Dan Suminad, Merrick B, Arkler, Hugo Count von Count, Jan Fredriksen, Jude the Generous, Vilda, Rush, Susan Weiss, Megarock, Rocco, Henrik Dare Klerberg, Mattia, Opshi the Obsessed, Raf, Kim, XD, Odaril, Mike, Mindsy, and Wolfboy. Thanks a lot for your support. Thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you in the future.